off this morning. More adventure. What will I see today? I just came through the pass and wow, what a shot of Mount Shasta. So of course there's Mount Shasta again. But this mountain is right in front of it, right on the other side of the lake. That's where I was earlier when I was taking pictures and video of Mount Shasta. And I was kind of around the back side of it. So anyway, since then, came out. I've been hiking all the way around here. I'm going to continue to go up here and circle a little bit that way. And so there is a point, actually you can see a town way up there too, that might be, I'm not sure what that is, but that could be Dunsmuir, where I'm going to be resupplying tomorrow. But anyway, once I circle around up here, either later today or tomorrow, I'll end up kind of on the south side of Mount Shasta instead of the west side, and should still get some good views, just a little bit different angle. Well, back there behind me is a gentleman whose trail name is Mule, and he is going southbound like I am, and he's doing a section out here, just whatever it is, a 30-mile section he's doing. And he's one of those folks that's doing the PCT over a long period of time, so he said he's done all of Washington, all of Oregon, and he's picking off little chunks of California little by little. So yeah, it was nice to see. He's going to get off at I-5 up here around Dunsmuir, just like I am, but he's going to be done and go home then at that point, be done with this section. So anyway, he is the first and only hiker that I have seen out here in these 3 days since I got back on trail from Etna. I did see, first day I was out here, I saw a woman who was in a parking lot at the trailhead, one of the trailheads, and older woman, and she just kind of looked up and said hi. I said hi. That was it. And then let's see, yesterday there was one day hiker who was out just hiking to one of the lakes, and basically just said, he said, "Hey, you hiking to Bull Lake?" And I said, "No, I'm going about 9 miles." And he said, "Okay." That's been not a lot of communication I've had recently. And then today, I actually saw 2 hunters go by, and they had their dogs, and we just kind of said, "How you doing?" "Great," and went on. So that was it. This is the first guy that's really, a hiker out here, backpacker, and first guy I got to talk to a short bit. So that was nice. It really is nice, not having lots of, just lots of people everywhere, not seeing people constantly like you do sometimes on the trail. But at the same time, you go along for 3 days and don't really say a word hardly to anybody. It's refreshing to find somebody to talk to for a minute or two. I just climbed to the top of this mountain and I've entered the Castle Crags Wilderness, and I think maybe I know why it's called that. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna tent tonight just up here in a few miles, and then tomorrow when I wake up I will have a big long descent down into town, and I'm pretty sure that that is what I'll be descending on. You can see, where's it at? Right in there, some trails zigzagging down. There's a little bit more over there. So yeah, I think that's what's in store tomorrow. Zigzagging down under Castle Crags. Well, that was an absolutely miserable night of sleep. I was so thoroughly exhausted when I got into camp. I just laid there leaning against my backpack for like 45 minutes, just laying there on the ground. And I finally got it together and set up the tent, ate dinner and crawled in, fell asleep. I don't know, slept maybe 4 hours, or I'm not sure. And then I woke up and was basically awake the rest of the night. Not thinking about things, not worrying about anything, not anything. I'd fall asleep and I'd have a little dream and I'd wake up and think, oh, okay, you know, maybe I slept a while, and it'd be like 20 minutes later. And anyway, so I actually feel fine right now, but I know how this works, and you know, come an hour before lunchtime or so, which is probably when I'll be getting into Dunsmuir to resupply, I will be dead to the world, wanting to crash out, and then I will have to do all my resupply and get back out on trail and hike up the next big hill out of town and try and do 10 to 12 miles to keep on schedule. I'll probably be even more exhausted tonight, so maybe that means I'll sleep tonight. We'll see. So lately, I've been getting up just a little bit later. Normally I would, you know, I've always been getting up, starting hiking around 6 or so, but it's, you know, taking a lot longer to get light in the morning. So I've been starting to hike closer to 7, mostly just because I'm still able to get in the miles I need to get in, and so, you know, it's just a lot easier and a lot more efficient hiking when it's light out. So that's what I've been doing. But today, as you can see, I'm up earlier. Took off about 6, and it's going to be dark for a while. Doesn't even really get light till start getting light till about 6:45 now. But two things. First of all, I wasn't sleeping, so I might as well get up and walk, you know. That way tonight when I'm exhausted, I'll be done 1 hour earlier. But really the main reason I got up early is because this gentleman that is going to pick me up and take me into Dunsmuir so I can resupply, the latest that he can drop me off back out on the trail is about 2:30 in the afternoon, because his regular job starts at 3. And so that really shouldn't be any problem. But, you know, I have 14 miles to do this morning to get to where he's going to be. And so, you know, I just thought, well, if resupply takes longer than I thought, and I'm really hungry and I want to eat in town and this and that, then it might make sense, you know, for me to just make sure I get there early enough that I'm not cutting things close. So, yeah, this will help give me a good start. By the time it gets light, I'll already have, you know, a couple miles under my belt. Give me a head start on that. Okay, I don't know if you can see. I can't find it in the camera. I don't think you can see it. There's a yellow glow up here. I already saw it once this morning, and it freaked me out. I thought it was a pair of eyes. There, now it's further ahead. And I threw a rock at it earlier, and then as I got closer, I realized it's a bird. And it took off. So anyway, we'll see if you can see that in the video later. It's been so dry out here for the last quite a few days. This is the first day where there's been a lot of moisture in the air. As I'm walking, you know, I can just feel it. Almost like I'm walking in the clouds, but the clouds aren't quite this little. Very humid though. You can see all the moisture in front of those mountains. Wow, that's amazing, isn't it? All right, leaving the Castle Crags Wilderness. Almost 3 miles from Interstate 5. So, if you remember, I-5 is where I was trying to hitch when I was in Medford, Oregon. Trying to get down closer to Ashland and then a little south of that to Callahan's Lodge area. And that's where I jumped on the trail. So the trail crosses I-5 up there in Oregon, south of Ashland. And then, when I got on, I immediately started going west quite a ways, and then south quite a ways, and then east quite a ways, which is what I'm doing right now. And so, therefore, circling around and crossing I-5 again. So right around here is ideally, I mean, up here at I-5 where I'm going to get off to resupply at Dunsmuir, is ideally where, when there were all these fire closures, ideally this is where we would have gotten on and headed north. But, two things. First of all, there was still the Shelley fire, which is that fire up between Etna and Syed Valley. And also, even though there was not a fire right here at this point, there was so much smoke that from the park fire further south in California that you really couldn't hike here at all. So anyway, now I'll be coming back around to I-5 and then heading on kind of southeast from there all the way down to Sierra City, where we got off the trail in the first place because of the fires. You know, you lose track of time out here, you know, what day of the week it is, what day of the month it is, anything. And I just looked at my phone real quick and noticed that yesterday was 4 months on the trail. So 4 months I've been out here, and boy, it feels like forever, you know. It feels like I've always been out here. You know, one of the things that I've been toying with, and I'm pretty sure I've all but just made the decision entirely, is, you know, I came out here this year, the plan was to do a through hike, which means, you know, all the miles from Mexico to Canada that aren't closed, you know, that aren't closed for fire or whatever other reason. And now that I'm getting close to Sierra City, I know this whole trip has been so convoluted, you probably can't even keep track of what the heck I've been doing, but you know, we started in Big Bear, and the idea was to go all the way up to Canada, then come back down to Big Bear and go down to Mexico and finish. But we got to Canada, turned around, did all the fire closures that were reopened, and when I get to Sierra City, I will be done with that. And I have decided that that's good enough for me. I have hiked the entire PCT now, you know, almost 370 miles of it last year, and all the rest of it this year, plus another, you know, just a little over 100 extra miles, plus side trails and all sorts of things. You know, the through hike has never been the most important thing to me. Sure, it'd be kind of cool to do it and say I did it, but I just really do not care. So yeah, what I'm gonna do, I think, is, you know, I'm gonna get up here and resupply at Dunsmuir. Then I'm gonna go down through the town of Bernie, take a zero there. Then I'll go down through Chester, I think, and Quincy, and then I'll hit Sierra City, and then I will have completed the whole trail, and I'm gonna be done. So, you know, I'm not exactly sure, but that's you know, only maybe another 10 or 12 days. So that's kind of crazy to think that this thing's coming to an end, but there's still quite a lot to go. So we'll focus on that for the time being, and I'll focus on this big log jam right here. That's not so bad. Gets a lot worse than this, that's for sure. I can hear traffic on the interstate from here. I'm probably within 2.5 miles. Well, that is even better than I hoped. So that car pulling away there, that is Doc. He is a shuttle driver. For $10, he'll take you into town. $10, he'll bring you back out. First of all, when I got here, I walked down that, you know, that road right there. The trail just came and kind of turned into that road back there. Walked down. There were two people there. The trail name's Ketchup and Mustard. They're people that we met a couple months ago in the desert. Maybe that's even more than a couple months ago. Anyway, we hiked kind of, you know, around each other for a few weeks and then never saw them again. And they're coming back here. They just got dropped off right when I walked in. They got dropped off to go north to finish their last little section of the year. Of course, I'm going to go south and finish mine. So anyway, so I'm going to turn this around and I'll tell you what's going on. All right, so I'm going to walk towards where I'm supposed to be getting back on trail, or I guess I am on trail right here, but on the actual trail. So yeah, Doc picked me up at 10:35, something like that. Took me to Dollar General. Got all my stuff real quick. I'm all packed up, ready to go here. And I was going to stop and have lunch at this place called Yak's and get a salad or something. Well, they don't open till noon. So I just called Doc and said, hey man, if you're ready, I'm ready to head back out. So he just grabbed me. I said, you know, is there anywhere I can get something to eat that'd be quick? He said, well, there's a gas station that makes awesome sandwiches. So that's what I have right here. So we stopped in, took them 5 minutes to make a sandwich for me. And make sure I'm going the right way here. And yeah, so I'm just gonna sit down here and eat it. It's only like 11:45 or something, so that didn't even take an hour and a half. So I'm gonna eat this sandwich and then I'm gonna jump on trail and get on out of here. I've got somewhere between 9 and 14 miles to do today to kind of stay on schedule to get into Bernie on time. So things are looking good so far. So Doc let me off on Soda Creek Road, which is where he picked me up at. And I guess I have a road walk for a little ways here. He said if I keep going down here, I'll cross a couple of rivers, or a river and a creek or something. So there's some good places to sit down here. So I'm gonna wander down here a ways till I find a good place to stop, maybe around the river, and then I will eat there and then get on the trail and get trucking. Well, there are the Castle Crags from the other side of the interstate. Really cool formation. Well, I'm back close to Mount Shasta again, so I'll be relatively close for a day or two, but this is you know, it won't look much different than this, so thought I'd give you a good shot from this angle. All right. So I decided that this afternoon I wanted to look super cool in case I saw any other cool people on the trail, so I decided to wear my hat sideways with my strap hanging in front of my face like this. No, not really. So I wish I would have figured this out my first year on the AT, but I think it might have taken me my last year on the AT to figure this out. And if I put a string dangling the brim of my hat like this, just let it flop around. It doesn't have to be like perfectly centered or swing in any particular direction. It can be kind of side to side, or front to back, or whatever. As long as it's in front of my face like this moving, it keeps whatever these little bugs are. They're like little gnats. You might have experienced them. I know they are prolific in California. And the more you breathe, the more they want to be near your face. And when you're breathing heavy, they'll get in your mouth. They'll suck them into your lungs and about choke to death. You're trying to spit them out and cough them up. They'll get close to your nose, and you'll snort them into your nose by accident, and then you'll be sputtering and trying to blow your nose out. And sometimes they're, you know, 30 of them just swarming all around your face. There's nothing you can do. I mean, you can smack a couple of them, you can wave your hand around, but you do this, and it is magic. They're just gone. And every so often, you know, I just had the strap kind of wrapped over the back. And anyway, every so often, the strap will slip off. And it doesn't take 5 seconds. There are 2 or 3 buzzing right around my face again. Instantly. So, anyway, little pro tip there for you. And you look super cool. Hey, bear, go away. All right, well, at least he's scared of me. So he's not habituated too bad. But that's going to make me a little nervous because this is where I'm sleeping tonight. Oh well, good luck to me. Well, this is sort of funny. I've been out here now over 4 months. I've been carrying this stupid little bag with this little rope in it all along. I have never used it one time. I've just slept with my food in my tent the whole time, but I'm doing a bear hang tonight because that curious bear comes back, I do not want that in my tent. So, there you go. I'm glad I carried it with me this whole time. Good night.